WSAV is your local election headquarters. We're tracking results tonight in the Georgia primary runoff, where voters have been deciding who will face off in November's general election.
We do have a projected winner in the Republican nomination for governor, and Rick Jackson will take Keisha Lance Bottoms in November. Burt Jones addressed his supporters a short time ago.
I have truly enjoyed serving the people of Georgia. I've enjoyed my time as lieutenant governor. I've enjoyed the time I was in the state senate. And, you know, like I said, public service was something that you know, it's a calling.
And sticking at the state level now, the race for incumbent Senator Jon Ossoff's challenger is shaping up. Let's take a look at the results as they stand right now. The projected winner, Mike Collins, with 56% of the vote. Derek Dooley coming in with 44%. The winner again taking on Jon Ossoff in November. Well, kicking off our team coverage is WSAV's Jillian Coles. She is joining us live from Jackson, Georgia, where Collins supporters are celebrating. Jillian.
Tina, Mike Collins' watch party absolutely erupted a little over an hour ago because, according to Decision Desk, he has come out on top yet again and will officially take on Jon Ossoff in November. Now, he took the stage moments after that and began by thanking his supporters right here from his hometown in Jackson, his family, and his team. Now, Democrats have held this seat for over 5 years now, and Collins says now that this runoff race is over, Republicans can stand united in this next vote. He continued on saying he knows what it's like to work in Georgia, putting food on his family's table and caring for employees whose families also depend on them. He says that's why he wants Georgia's voters to vote for him one more time.
You know, we're Republicans now. We're going to have some robust primaries out there. Sometimes we got some strong disagreements. But I can tell you one thing. Now we stand united around one mission. That's right. And y'all know what the mission is. It's to put a Republican in that seat and get rid of that Jon Ossoff in November. Return this seat to the people of Georgia.
Now, you may ask what is next for Mike Collins after tonight's celebrations, and he says he's going to continue campaigning around Georgia, continuing to follow Trump's policies and backing those policies and getting a businessman in that Senate seat. Reporting live in Jackson, Jillian Coles, WSAV News 3, on your side.
Jillian, thank you. We are also following the race for Georgia's 1st congressional district, currently held by Republican Buddy Carter, who gave up his seat to run for Senate but did not make the Senate runoff. So let's take a look at the result here now. Amanda Hollowell is the projected winner over Joyce Griggs, and she will take on Republican Jim Kingston in November. WSAV's Takaya Harris has been following the Hollowell watch party. She joins us now live from Savannah.
Yeah, Ben, what a tight race tonight. And I'm actually joined here by Amanda Hollowell to talk about that win and what's next for her. Now, Amanda, earlier you told me you were both excited and nervous. How do you feel right now?
I'm just excited and thankful. You know, folks really showed up for me, especially in runoffs. It's hard to get people to come back, and my voters came back. And that speaks volumes to the campaign that we ran.
Now, do you have a message for your opponent tonight following this election?
Listen, I always want to thank folks who are veterans for their service. Joyce ran a great campaign. She's been running for multiple times, and so she is seasoned at this. And, you know, that only made me better. That only made me want to actually work harder. And so I just want to thank Joyce for the competition.
And what's the first thing you'll focus on as you shift your attention to the general election?
The first thing we have to focus on is how to get out to those rural areas, how to talk to those voters, and how to explain why this matters in the moment. But also make sure that we're hearing them and they feel heard. You know, folks right now have a lot of pain points. They have, you know, they feel abandoned. They feel a void in what folks who are elected officials are listening to them. And I want to fill that void for those folks and make them feel that they've been seen and that they've been heard.
Now, Hollowell now advances to the general election where she is expected to face Jim Kingston in November. I'm going to throw it to you guys back at the desk.
All right, Nakaya, thank you. And we'll stay with this race on the other side of the Democratic runoff. WSAV's Sarah Smith is live at a watch party after speaking to Joyce Marie Griggs.
Yes, certainly not the outcome Army veteran Joyce Marie Griggs wanted this evening. At one point, the race was so close between herself and Hollowell, only about 100 votes separating the two, but it just wasn't enough for Griggs tonight. Now, she campaigned on her promise to serve residents being impacted by rising costs at the gas pump and the grocery store. She says living and working in this district has helped her to better understand what residents need and want in this community. Despite the loss, she believes it's her purpose to serve the people of the 1st Congressional District, and this wasn't her first time on the ballot. Griggs most recently ran for this position in 2022. I asked her why she's so passionate about this community.
Well, I still thank my supporters for coming out, okay? And bottom line is, I would never stop serving. I've always served, and I will serve in whatever capacity to make sure that I serve the people and that their needs are being articulated and that I can still advocate for their needs. All people.
Griggs going home with a smile on her face despite this loss, and she says even though she's not on the ballot, she hopes everyone goes out to vote for the election in November. For now, live in Savannah, I'm Sarah Smith, WSAV News 3, on your side.
Sarah, thank you. Taking a look now at some of the statewide races in the Democratic runoff for Lieutenant Governor. There you see Josh McLaren outlasting Nabila Parks to win the nomination on the Democratic side for Lieutenant Governor. And there's also a runoff on the Republican side for Georgia Lieutenant Governor. Greg Dolezal winning that. That's the projected winner over John Kennedy tonight.
And let's take a look at the runoff for Georgia Secretary of State. On the Republican side, Tim Fleming is the projected winner with 65% of the vote over Vernon Jones. On the Democratic side for Secretary of State, we have Penny Reynolds, the projected winner over Dana Barrett, 63% of the vote there. Election results still coming in for races like the GOP nominee for state school superintendent and local county commissioners. We'll have those coming up a little later in the newscast and online at WSAV.com.
Some breaking news to tell you about now. You're taking a live look at a heavy police presence in Savannah. This is happening in the 2800 block of Capitol Street. There are unconfirmed reports of a shooting happening in the area, but we are waiting to hear back from police. Our crew is on the scene and working to learn more about this situation. We will update you on air and online as we learn more. Well, new tonight, after a deadly shooting claimed the life of an 18-year-old in Hinesville last month, one community group is working to turn tragedy into action. Guns Down, Hoops Up is bringing kids together each week for basketball mentorship and a safe place to spend their summer. WSAV's Isabella Baez shows us how.
Every shot you take is a step away from the squeeze.
It's more than just a game of basketball. Dwayne Jenkins organized Guns Down, Hoops Up in Hinesville and says this event is a way for kids of all ages to be outside this summer and be in a safe environment.
I thought of it to get the kids active for the summer. It's a lot going on in the city, and I just want to keep the kids active.
Jenkins says this idea was a direct reaction after the city was riddled with gunfire just weeks ago. On May 24th, 18-year-old Jamonte Barnes was shot and killed, and one other 18-year-old was left injured at Irene Thomas Park. After that, Jenkins says he decided enough was enough.
A lot of gun violence in the city, and I'm tired of it. Just want to make a change. Stop letting these kids purchase guns off the streets.
Every Tuesday night at 5 o'clock, Jenkins and a few community members will coach the basketball game. Some also supporting from outside the court by donating food and speaking on the importance of gun violence.
I don't know how to put it into words, but I'm so proud of myself. Like, in the community behind me, they stepping behind me. So
the basketball games are played at the court on Airport Road. And the Hinesville Police Department are looking for information regarding the deadly shooting on May 24th and ask if you have information to contact Crime Stoppers at 912-234-2020. Isabella Baez, WSAV News 3, on your side.
The trial is now underway for a soldier accused in a shooting at Fort Stewart last year that injured 5 people. Prosecutors began presenting their case today against Sergeant Cornelius Radford, who was accused of opening a fire on multiple people. The government called 10 witnesses to the stand, including all 6 who were shot in August. Across hours of testimony, witnesses described their experiences inside Fort Stewart that day, including members of the soldiers on base leadership, his fiancee, other soldiers who say they were caught in the shooting. Prosecutors argue Radford fired with intent to kill. His defense team says he did not intend to murder anyone and was instead seeking a confrontation with law enforcement. Radford previously pled guilty to 6 counts of aggravated assault in March. He is now on trial for multiple counts of attempted murder, both premeditated and unpremeditated. The prosecution is expected to resume its case tomorrow morning at 9.